Hello Stitchy friends, welcome to the Starlight Stitching Co. Flosstube video number 19. I'm happy you're here. Thank you so much for watching my channel, and welcome back if you're a returning viewer, and welcome if you're brand new. I like to share basically anything crafty that I've been working on in the time since I've seen you last. I hope you all are staying cool. I know it's been rather warm everywhere. I know it's deceiving, I'm wearing a sweater. My craft room is in the basement, and no matter what time of year, the basement is always freezing. So I keep a sweater down here to wear because I get cold very easily. So I have some full finishes, my whips, some haul, some quilting plans, if I can find the time, and some stitchy plans, and just all sorts of fun. So I guess we should jump right into it. Where to start? So many whips. Oh, I guess I should start with my finishes, shouldn't I? So I have two full finishes. This is one of the Stitching with the Housewives patterns. I don't know the pattern name, but I will find it and link it below. I stitched this up last year, and more recently finished it into this sweet little dough bowl pillow. I know the lighting down here kind of washes stuff out, but it's on a bluey green, like a minty blue green fabric that I hand dyed with my experimenting, and I finished it with some yellow fabric on the back and some yellow pom-pom trim that is sewed in. So now I have a cute little bumblebee house, little honeybee house decoration. I'm getting more and more things finished, which is really exciting. I'm trying really hard to have at least one finish to share with you for each video, because I have a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be finished that's just sitting in a drawer or in a box. So I'm trying to have at least one full finish, and this next one I am so excited about. So in the January Clutch Club box, I shared this Wild Chicory cross stitch pattern, which is based off of a crewel embroidery piece that hung in my grandmother's house for many years that was given to me a few years ago. And this is a case where the computer generated photo, because I didn't have time to finish the model stitching before I needed to get the box out, the computer generated photo does not do this pattern justice at all. Not even close. Because here is the finished piece. I was so happy with it. Okay, so it is stitched on a 14 count Rustico Aida with a mix of DMC and over-dyed floss. So classic colorworks. And just look at the flowers. There is a lot of back stitching in this one to add definition to all those flowers, but I think it is really worth it. And then I stitched up, so on the pattern you'll see in this corner here there's another little flower. That is so you can stitch it up on some extra fabric and add it to a covered button, because a covered button kit came in with this kit. I framed the cross-stitching piece with the Lady Dot Creates pom-pom trim that also came in the kit. I just carefully glued it around the edge. You can see a little bit of puckers in my fabric here on my board, but oh well. And then I just finished it off with some sweet little flowers and greenery and some gingham ribbon. This is on a weathered board that I picked up from Walmart yesterday, so it should still be available. It is a whitewash large cutout plaque, 12 inches by 16 inches. I think it was like $11 or something like that. Not that bad, especially since I didn't have to paint it. And I think it just looks perfect with this very rustic pattern. So again, the digital image does not do this pattern justice. I absolutely love it. It is available in my shop. I will be updating the pattern cover with a photo of this finished piece, and I will resend it out to everyone who purchased the pattern or the club kit, so you have an updated version. But I'm so thrilled with it. Now just to find the perfect spot to hang it up. So those are my two full finishes. I do have a stitched finish, and this is And To All a Good Night by Stitching with the Housewives. And here it is, all done. I have gotten so many questions on this fabric. So this is a 14 count opalescent Aida that I RIT dyed with indigo dye. And I've had a lot of questions about fabric dyeing, so I'm going to try at some point to do a video and just do a few different things. But this one, I had the piece of Aida that I wanted, and I mixed up some RIT dye in just like a glass Pyrex measuring cup, like a 4-cup measuring cup, and I made the dye bath pretty strong. I did not measure how much dye I put in it, but it was quite a bit. And then I just balled up the Aida and shoved it in and let it sit for probably about 20 minutes, and then rinsed it out. And because I didn't stir it around or shake it around or anything, I think that's how I got this lovely modeling that you see here. But I just love it. I think it looks like a starry night sky. Someone asked if you can still see the shimmer, which is really hard to catch in a photograph, but you can see it here that it still shimmers and shines. So I'm hoping by the next video I'll have this one fully finished and ready for Christmas decorating later this year. Lots of fun. The next whip, I don't remember what order. It's not important what order I worked on them in. The next whip I have, if I can get my fingers to work, is Clarissa's Garden Sampler by the Proper Stitcher. And I have this in my sunflower handbag from the club. I am using the called for DMC colors, and here's where I'm at. So this stitching right here in this creamy color, you can see it in person. I mean, it doesn't jump out at you, but you can see it in person. But I like that all of the colors in this are just subtle and soft. This is an Artiste brand of fabric that I purchased quite a while ago. Did I write it down? Nope, I sure didn't. Why would I write it down? That would be silly. It's a 32 count, what is it, Murano Car in the pattern Fleur, F-L-E-U-R. I got this from Hobby Lobby quite a while ago. It's been sitting in my stash, but if you look on Etsy, you can still find some sellers that have some. Just do a search for Zweigart Fleur, F-L-E-U-R, and you'll be able to find some. But it's screen printed with these white little flowers, and I just thought that would be the perfect background for Clarissa's Garden Sampler. So very pretty. Also, in the same case, I have Honeybee Quaker, because I got the Primrose Cottage Sip and Stitch box, my new favorite coffee mug. So this is the pattern that came with it, which is super adorable. And I haven't gotten a whole lot done on it. I'm trying to move my needle and thread out of the way. Here's where I'm at. This is an 18 count Fiddler's cloth Aida. I really like the speckles, the variations in it, but it's not really dark. It's like a bright, oh, I'm doing very bad at describing this. It's a lot brighter than like this. It's closer to a white than like the Rustico Aida, which has more of a yellow color to it. I really like it. I'm considering getting, or I ordered more of this from 123 Stitch, the 18 count Fiddler's Cloth Aida. And if it looks the same, I might be restarting my Hive Rules. I haven't gotten very far on it, so that's not that big of a deal. Instead of doing it on the bright white, to do it on the Fiddler's Cloth, because it'll look closer to the bee finishes that I already have done. So they'd all look cohesive together. Whereas the bright white with something that's, hold on. So here's just one of the bee patterns from Primrose Cottage Stitches that I have done. And this is on an oatmeal. Is it oatmeal Aida? I think. And this looks really close. I mean, it's a little bit lighter, but it still looks in the same family. Whereas I had started Hive Rules on a bright white opalescent fabric, which I think might stick out a little bit. We'll see. Decisions. Next, I worked on, if I can get it out, Welcome to the North Pole by Primrose Cottage Stitches. This is part of the sew along, and I finished July's section. So last time I saw you, I had, what, the tiniest, did I have this finished, or was it, I don't think so. I think I had just a small start. I don't know. Either way, I'm showing it again. So July's section is done. I have not started on August's section yet, but I still have time. That train stitched up a lot faster than I thought it would. And that I have in my, trying to get it closed, North Pole tote. I still have one of these currently in the shop that is done and ready to ship out. So my cross stitch totes are big enough to hold these larger patterns. I like the pocket in the front for holding the pattern so I can see what's in it. On the inside is the large thread bed, the vinyl pocket with a hidden inside pocket, a large vinyl pocket on this side, and then there's pockets behind each of these. So there, whoops, I'm losing some thread. So there's one of those left in the shop right now that I could have shipped out to you tomorrow, if you so choose to add to your collection. I started and almost finished, well, hello there, August. So I want to get August finished up and the buttons added and fully finished, so maybe that will be another full finish for next week, so I can try to keep up with this monthly series, at least for the rest of this year. So I have January and February done. I started March, July is done, and now I'm working on August. So we'll see. Next, I brought out, I haven't worked on this one since last year, and I did share it on my Instagram yesterday. Autumn Love by Lori Holt. Very pretty pattern, lots of fun details. And here's where I'm at. I am stitching this on a 28 count Charles Craft linen on the color Tea Dyed, and I switched up the colors a little bit. So the house, I made the darker of the blues. These are all the called for DMC flosses. The house, I made the darker blue because it almost perfectly matches the color of my house, and I changed the borders to white instead of the gray because I thought it popped out a little bit better. So I'd really like to have this finished and fully finished this year before autumn is officially over in December. And I figure if I get at least one of these squares in the border done a week, that I could have it finished by the end of November. So I managed to get this square done. I do still have a little bit of the scallop border left around the house frame, but that actually stitches up pretty quickly. So I'll try to get that done and then move on to the next block. I don't know which one I'll do next, we'll see. But I'm excited to work on that and actually have a plan for getting it finished this year, because I want to see it hanging on my wall. Get it back in my bag. There we go. The next whip I worked on, where's the cover photo, is At Home by Brenda Gervais. This is such a lovely pattern. And I have this in my new, what I called the Daydream Daisies tote. So those all sold out. I will be making those next week. I have to finish up with the Vintage Happy handbags first. And then next week I will be working on those. Thankfully it's a smaller quantity, so I should be able to get them done faster. And for those that have been asking, I am going to have a pattern for this. I think when I make these totes next week, I'm going to try to take pictures and film clips for the tutorial while I'm making them. So that might be a little challenging to go ahead and get that done for you, because that's not normally how I do my tutorials. Normally I make one all the way through, just one start to finish while photographing, and then I make another one all the way through start to finish video filming to get everything on there. So, but I can't get that worked in right now because I need to get those finished and these sewed up and the next batch started. I just got a whole bunch more fabric, which I shared on Instagram yesterday. So I'm trying to work it in, but there's going to be a pattern. My goal is to have the pattern ready for release on September 1st. So there is that. Now back to At Home by Brenda Gervais. Here is where I'm at. So I'm stitching this on I don't remember, 32 count? 32 count Fox and Rabbit Mayflower linen. I ordered a yard of it from Fat Quarter Shop, which that is quite an investment. This is not all of it. I cut off what I needed and put the rest in my stash. It's a very pretty, soft, neutral color. A very creamy color. I am a little disappointed there's no modeling on the piece that I got, or very little. All you can see right here are just the creases from having it folded. But it is still a very pretty color. And I think it will let the colors of the thread, the soft colors of the thread in this pattern, really pop on this fabric. So I have the full width at the top done of just the Oscar color. There are several other people stitching this, and that's what ended up getting me wanting to get the pattern and work on it. I know Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch and Sweetwater Stitcher are all stitching this. But I noticed some oddities in the pattern last night. I can't show you the pattern, but maybe I can describe. So, like, there's a page break in the pattern about right here. All of the leaves are the same Oscar color except for, like, this one right here. And all of the flower stems are the same color except for this flower stem here. or I'm sorry, I guess it's this one over here. And there's another flower stem over here and a couple of other leaves close to a page break that are not the same color as all the rest of them. I don't know if that's intentional. The photo is not large enough to see the difference in the color very well, because it is a variegated floss. But I'm just gonna make all the stems and all the leaves the same color. Yeah, because all the stems are one color and all the leaves are a lighter green. Except in a couple of odd places. And I just can't tell on the pattern if it was actually stitched that way or not. So I'm just going to make all my stems the same and all my leaves the same. I don't have, when I ordered this from Fat Quarter Shop, they didn't have all of the flosses, so I do have the rest of the flosses on the way. But so far, these are the pretty colors. I want to get all of the flowers in this top portion of the border done before moving on, but I have to wait until the floss arrives. So I'm impatiently waiting that. I think it's supposed to be here today. Maybe. I don't know. We shall see. If not, I've got plenty of leaves to stitch. Uh-oh. I've got floss hanging out from something else. All right. Next up, I did have a question. In the last video, I shared my Whip Parade video that I had shared on Instagram, and there was somebody asking about the gridding on some of my projects. So this was honestly just the first project I had down here that had it on it. So this is Winter Snowfall by Shannon Christine. A very pretty, very detailed pattern that I have not worked on in at least 2 years. Maybe we can have a focus on it this winter. I have the full width of it stitched, and a good portion of this Quaker snowflake border that my light is totally blowing out. But you can see I have gridding on my fabric. This is a product called Easy Count Guideline. It's like a red fishing line material that you quite literally stitch into the fabric, and then I just weave the ends into some of the threads of the fabric on the border. And it's a pretty simple, what is it, over 5, under 4 to make the little crosses. And that corresponds to the 10 count grid on your pattern. So as you can see, about down here, that's where this pattern is going to stop. This makes it really easy for counting across large distances, like between here. So instead of counting individual stitches, I can count by 10, 20, 30, and so on. And it's very helpful for large detailed patterns like the full coverage dimension stockings I do this with, and this one that has a lot of space between the motifs. And I don't know, it just makes it easier. So you just stitch over it, and because it is a plastic, it's like red fishing line, so it's a plastic material. Once you're done stitching, you just pull it out. And it doesn't make your stitches loose. Everything still looks held in beautifully, but it works to count well. So just search for, I'm pretty sure that's, let me get the spool real quick. I just reorganized my island. So it's Easy Count Guideline. Focus, camera. There we go. And there's a lot on here. I mean, this one spool will probably last a very long time. I can't get the cover off to show you, so you'll just have to believe me. So it comes on a little spool, like fishing line. And that's upside down. That's what I use to grid my projects when I want to. I don't like the idea of using a pen or a marker because I'd be afraid that I wouldn't get it straight and it could get me off a stitch easily. So I don't like that. Pattern hanging out from something else. Okay, what next? What next? What next? I guess haul. Like I mentioned last time, I've been really bad about haul. I've been buying too much stuff. I need to quit buying stuff. I need to work on getting rid of stuff that I'm not going to use, just to make things easier in the future. It's not working very well, as you can see by my large mess again. So first up, sorry for the crinkle, is my fabric of the month from Bestitch Me. This is called Lightly Salted Not Roasted, and it's coming off beige in the camera, but I would definitely consider it like a peach, like a peachy color. Lots of nice modeling, very pretty. Yeah, definitely a peachy neutral. There you go. That's a better representation. That looks, I guess that's a little more yellow. It's a bit more pink than that. I picked up Silver Creek Samplers. What is this called? And the Earth Sang. This is called And the Earth Sang. I thought this would be great to stitch around Easter time next year. It says, an angel rolled the stone away from the tomb where Jesus lay. He is risen was the cry as joyful praises filled the sky. Matthew 28:2. So I thought that would be perfect to stitch around Easter time next year. So I picked up that pattern. This was definitely a purchase as a result of watching Flosstube. I don't remember who I saw that was stitching this. Was it maybe the Sable Stitchers or Linen and Scraps? I don't know. Another Flosstube. So this is Sarah Rinder 1841 from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. And the birds in the bird bath and the flowers, it's just such a pretty sampler. I mentioned last time that I picked up the box. The Perpetual Calendar box from Paisleys and Polka Dots. And they perfectly fit the From the Heart Needle Art monthly Quaker. So I got all 12 of those. And then I also picked up some 20 count white Witchelt Aida to stitch those on, because the pattern calls for 40 count linen. Those would be some tiny holes. So I got 20 count Aida. Model is stitched 1/2 on 40 count, so 1 thread. I don't normally do 1 thread stitching. We'll see. But those look really pretty. And then I picked up this kit from the Herrschner's catalog. I knew I should have just thrown it in the trash without even looking at it, but instead I did. And there was this beautiful watercolor-esque dragonfly and butterfly kit. That was really pretty. There was something else that I knew I was going to talk about. Where'd it go? don't know where that pattern went. Okay. I don't know what happened to it. I'll have to find it, and if I do, I will share it next time. That's really going to bother me, where that pattern went, because I actually kind of wanted to stitch it soon. But we shall see. Next, what are we going to do next? Should we do giveaways next? I have not had much luck with the giveaway winners contacting me. I don't know if it's just that people are watching the video and commenting and then not watching the next video. I mean, that's probably it. There's so many people out there doing floss tubes. And I know I'm not as cheery and bubbly and happy as some of the other people that are fun to watch. I guess I just have a little bit quieter of a personality. So I've had trouble getting giveaway winners to respond. So I'm probably not going to do giveaways every video anymore, just because that's a lot of stuff to manage, and calling the giveaway winner again and trying to get a hold of them. That's just a lot of added extra work. Added extra work that also, it's just a lot. So I will call this one again. Crystal Inks, I will add your comment here. You are the winner of the summer pack, which included the pattern, this bag, and the matching keyring. Please send me an email at the email address listed below, letting me know what you've won and your shipping address. This week, the winner, or last week, I shared this one. This is the spring Stitching with the Housewives bag, pattern, and keychain. And the winner of that is Lori Votero. So Lori Votero, please contact me. I think I already have your information, but just to be safe, go ahead and contact me and let me know your shipping address and what you've won, and I will pop this out into the mail to you. So we do not have a giveaway for this week. I'll still do some special occasions giveaways, like my Flosstube anniversary should be coming up here, I think in October. I'll have to look. And I'll try to do some giveaways then. But I'm not going to do giveaways every video anymore, just to relieve a little bit of pressure. So there's one thing that's a little fun that I thought I might share. And that is how I keep track of what I've worked on. So I have a super simple, not flashy at all planner. And in here I have just some dot grid pages. And I've got the month and the days of the month, and then I just write down what I've worked on and put a little X on the days I've worked on it. So you can see what I've worked on. This is definitely helpful for remembering what I've worked on for Flosstube videos. It's the main reason I started tracking it. And it's also just fun to see. And then if I have a finish, I put a little star on the date that I finished it. So I worked on a lot of stuff in July. A lot of them were smalls, but I also got a lot finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 finishes in July. So it's just fun to see and look back on it and just see my progress. Again, a lot of them were smalls. And then here's my August, what I have worked on and what I plan to work on. And then I also took the time to write down all of my whips, the start date, and if I finished it, a finish date, and a little check mark for it being FFO'd. And before, I never really was one to count my whips, but I also think it's really cool to see how much I've completed. So all of these pink highlighted ones here are finishes. All of the check marks are full finishes. And it's just fun to see. So yes, I have, I scrapped Bunny Garden. I wasn't happy with that one. But otherwise, I have a total of 52 whips for the year, and 19 of them are finished. So I have just this little tally mark here of 2023 finishes. And it's just a fun way to keep track, and it's helped me be a little more finish focused and like trying to make plans to work on things. For example, like Autumn Love, I know that if I finish 1 square a week, I can get it done by November and get some of those whips moving along, so they're just not hanging out in bags, you know, filling my shelves with project bags. So the other one that I want to make a focus this month, so let's recap. I know I'm all over the place, I'm sorry. It's how my brain works sometimes. I want to finish the August Well Hello there and get it finished, fully finished, because I want to put it on that plank on that ladder that I picked up from Paisleys and Polka Dots quite a while ago. I like decorating it, and I think I want to be able to put my Well Hellos there on magnets. Excuse me. So I can switch them out. So I want to get that done. I think I should be able to have that done today. I finished my goal for this week on Autumn Love. I have the sew along for Welcome to the North Pole, which so far so good. And my other goal for this month is I want to finish Christmas Rules. So I want this to be like the focus piece for this month. Did I work on, I mean, it is only the, what, August 3rd? So I am almost, is it halfway done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, I'm just about halfway done. I have to finish the word stocking and the little border underneath, and I'm totally halfway done. So then I just have the rest. So the Build a Snowman, Spread Joy, Go Sledding, and Believe. And then this will be a full finish. So I'm stitching this on 32 count raw gold linen from Zweigart. The raw gold and the raw silver, they're one of my favorites. And I would like to have that finished this month. So that is my plans. I also want to work on at home, you know, here and there. So we'll just see. And then in some quilty plans, if I can manage to squeeze in the time, Fat Quarter Shop came out with the seasonal Stitchy Stars table runners, and I want to do a fall version, but not in these colors, and not in colors that I normally pick either. I want to work with some pretty pinks. I'm not so sure about this one, but oops. The pink and this like plummy purple with the oranges and the yellows, some yellow swirls, this pretty mauve-y color, and then I have some cream low volumes that I want to use as the background. And I would like to add this one in if I can make it work. I just don't know if it fits very well with the colors and the vibe. So I'll just have to see. So I want to make a plummy autumn table runner that will probably only be 5 blocks long, because these runners are 79.5 inches long, and that's a little bit long for my table. So I'm going to pick out 5 of the blocks. I know that Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch and Nicole Spohr have been sewing on these, and they look gorgeous, but I need to get some starch and actually starch my pieces, which I don't normally do, but there's a lot of small pieces in here, and that would be very helpful. So I think that's all I have to share with you today. It was kind of a longer video. Man, I'm really bummed I can't find that pattern. I hope I find it today. That's really going to bother me. I found that pattern I was looking for, and a whole bunch of other patterns. So I don't know if sampler fever is a thing, but I seem to have it, because now I just want to stitch all the samplers. Because I have Land That I Love that I'm working on, At Home that I've already started. I want to start Let Love Rain soon, and then I have a stack of more. So there's Every Opening Flower by Brenda Gervais. That's really pretty. Rejoice Evermore by Brenda Gervais. Are you sensing a theme here? This isn't a sampler, but it's a cute design. What is it called? Peppermint Twist by Blue Ribbon Designs. All the Christmas motifs. And Matter in Hand by Jeanette Douglas. Again, I know this isn't really a sampler, but it's a stitching themed one that would look beautiful hanging up in my craft room. There's one more that I picked up that's not a sampler. Hands-on Design, Block Party 17th. So this is the St. Patrick's Day block party. I think that would be fun. But the one I wanted to show you is called Christmas at Hollyberry Farm by Stacy Nash Primitives. If you look at this picture, if I had just seen this picture, I would not have bothered buying the pattern. This picture does not do this pattern justice. Just Google it. Google Christmas at Hollyberry Farm. You will not be disappointed. So I think I want to stitch this on maybe some of that Mayflower fabric, or maybe a sagey green fabric. I don't know. I ordered all the floss that's called for, so I'm waiting for that to get here. And then I might decide, but I think I might want to try to find like a sagey green hand-dyed fabric. I don't know. But it's a Christmas sampler. And it just looks so beautiful stitched up. So that's the pattern that I couldn't find that I wanted to share with you. I hope you have a fabulous weekend and get some stitching in and just enjoy. Yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you so much for watching. Bye. I almost forgot to mention, I've been doing some downsizing of my quilty things and a few stitchy things. So if you want to look for some de-stash items, like maybe some fabric bundles that are out of print or such, words are so hard. If you want to see what I have in my crafty de-stash, just look up StarlightStitchingCo on Etsy and you will find a lot of good stuff there. So check it out and help me clear out some space in my craft room. Bye.